Hello everyone! In this video, we'll go over the Vocabulary Workshop Level Green Unit 13 words. You can follow along at home using your book. Let's get started! Our first word is arch. Arch is a noun and it means a curved structure that serves as an opening and as a support. The example says, "The door to the castle had an arch over it." You can see in this picture here, this is what an arch looks like. It's kind of like a half circle or oval. If you would continue it, it would be complete. But an arch is just that curved shape. And there's many different kinds of arches that we can find in different buildings or even in nature. For example, if you look at this picture, there is an arch in the canyon. You can see here it's made out of rocks. And here's some other kinds of arches that can be found all over the world. Some synonyms for arch are archway, curvature, and semicircle, which means half circle. There are no antonyms for this word. We can also use arch as an adjective, and this time it means mean, playful, or mischievous. The sample says, surprisingly, the arch enemies joined forces. So arch can describe someone who is the main person in something, like an arch enemy, or also someone who acts a little sneaky and playful. So if you look at this picture here, maybe a cat and a dog would be described as arch enemies. We often use this word arch together with the word enemy, because cats and dogs are always the main characters that are fighting. Another example of arch enemies would be Thanos and Captain America from the Avengers. And in this picture here, you can see this girl has a very mischievous or playful smile on her face. So I can say she has an arch smile. The synonyms are chief, principal, and sly. There are no antonyms for this word. Our next word is authentic. Authentic is an adjective and it means being the real thing, worthy of belief, and true. So something that is authentic, we can describe it as being real, not fake. For example, these are authentic diamonds. In this sentence, we're talking about how some diamonds are real. They're authentic. So sometimes people will take their diamonds or other jewelry to a jewelry shop, and the owner of the shop has a special tool where he can look at the diamonds or look at the gold, and he can tell if they are authentic, if they are real. Here's another example. There are some dinosaur bones here. I can say these are authentic dinosaur bones at the museum. It means they are real bones, they're not fake ones. In this picture too, there is an authentic signature on this baseball. It's a real signature. And we can also use authentic to describe people. Sometimes people act different ways with different people or in different situations. So if people are always acting differently, we can say they are not authentic. Or if someone always behaves or acts the same way, we can call them an authentic person. They're always real, they're always telling the truth about who they are. So they are authentic. Some synonyms are actual, genuine, sincere, and antonyms are fake, false, counterfeit, and inauthentic. Our next word is clarify. Clarify is a verb and it means to say clearly or make easier to understand. For example, the teacher tried to clarify the assignment. In this sentence, there's an assignment that students have to do, and the teacher tried to make that assignment clear so that everyone can understand what they need to do. So we can say the teacher clarified or tried to clarify the assignment. And we can also use it in this way. Maybe someone is using a printer in a shop and they don't know how to use the printer, but maybe there's a sign on the wall in front of the printer that explains how to use the printer. So then I can say the sign clarified how to use the machine. Remember, this is a verb, so you can change the ending for the tense in your sentence. You can say clarify, or you can add IED at the end to say clarified in the past tense. So whenever we clarify something, it means something is confusing or not easy to understand, and we are making it more clear. We are making it easier to understand. Something people often say when they are confused is, "Could you clarify that?" It means you don't understand, so can you please make it more clear or easier? The synonyms are explain and simplify. Antonyms are bewilder, complicate, and obscure. Our next word is declare. Declare is a verb and it means to state strongly. Remember, state just means saying something. To make a formal or an official statement. So someone who is declaring something is saying something in a very strong or very important way. The sample says, "I was too shy to declare my feelings." Have you ever really liked someone, but you were too shy to tell them your feelings? Remember, declare is just saying or telling something. So in this sentence, we're just talking about how someone was too shy to say how they really felt. They could not declare their real feelings. If you look at this picture here, maybe there is a runner, and before the race started, the runner declared that he would win the race. He said it in a very strong way. Remember, declaring just means you're saying something very loudly. And we can also use this word to talk about when you are traveling and you go into a new country or you come back into your country. We often have to declare the things that we bought. So it means we have to clearly say what things we bought when we were in the other country. Some synonyms are announce, assert, and proclaim. Antonyms are deny. The next word is grant. Grant is a verb and it means to admit that something is true, or to permit or allow. The sample sentence says, "The leader decided to grant their request." So in this sentence, there is someone who is a leader. Let's imagine it's like a king or a queen, and the people of the kingdom have come to ask something to the queen or the king. And if the queen or king says okay to the thing that they want, then we can say they granted their request. They said it's okay. When you grant something, you allow it to happen. You're saying it's okay. We can also use it maybe when you have to go to the bathroom and you ask your teacher, "May I go to the bathroom?" So we can say the teacher granted him permission to leave the room and go to the bathroom. We can also say something like, "My mom granted me 30 minutes to play games. She allowed or she permitted me to play the games." Some synonyms are award, give, allow, and concede. Antonyms are refuse and disallow. Grant can also be used as a noun, and the synonym is a little bit different. Now, grant is something that is given, something that you give to someone or you receive from someone. For example, they received a grant to study other cultures. In this sentence, I want you to imagine that someone is in a college or a university studying something, and they want to do more research about it. Maybe they want to go to another country to learn about other cultures. But to do that, they need to get some money so that they can travel and they can do their research. We would call that money a grant. It is given to the person who wants to go study other cultures. So this word grant is often used as a way to say they are getting money to do something. We can also use it as a scientist who wants to study about maybe bacteria or viruses or germs. They need money so that they can study about it. So we can say the university gave them a grant. Or maybe the government gave them a grant to study more about coronavirus. And we can also use it in this way. If there is a school who got new computers, for example, we can say the school was granted new computers for all the students. So you can think about grant really as like a gift, a present, or an award that is given to someone or that someone receives. And there are no antonyms for this word. Our next word is grave. Grave is a noun and it means a hole in the ground where something is buried. The sample says, the grave of President Ulysses S. Grant is in New York City. So in this sentence, there was a president that lived a long time ago, so that president already died. And that means after you die, some people will go in a grave. It's a hole in the ground. So for this president, his grave is in New York City. So again, grave is just a hole in the ground, and usually either people or animals might be put in a grave after they die. Then that grave gets covered up with some dirt or some sand, and there's often a gravestone that is put in front of the grave. That way we know who is there, who is the person or who is the animal that is buried in the ground. And some people might also be put into a casket like this one. It's like a wooden box that then gets put into the hole. A synonym for grave would be a tomb. And this word tomb, we often use it when we're talking about maybe something ancient like the pyramids, and we might find the tomb of a pharaoh inside the pyramids. And there are no antonyms for this word. We can also use grave as an adjective, and it means very important and requiring much attention. Something that is very serious is grave. For example, the climbers were in grave danger. So in this sentence, maybe there are some people that are climbing a mountain, but there is a sign that says, danger, do not climb the cliffs. So we can say that the climbers are in grave danger. It's very serious, very important, very dangerous. We might also say, since it's an adjective, we can use it to describe something. I can say the doctor had a grave look on his face after reading the test results. Maybe someone's results from a test were very, very bad. They might be very sick. So the doctor had a grave look on his face, a very serious look. We could also use grave together with the word mistake. For example, I can say, he made a grave mistake by telling everyone his friend's secret. So he did something that was very serious, a very bad thing. So we can call it a grave mistake. So this word together with grave is often used in sentences. Also, we might say grave danger. For example, there was grave danger during the storm, so everybody stayed inside. So these are common ways to use the word grave. Some synonyms are critical, significant, solemn, and somber. Antonyms are insignificant, unimportant, cheerful, joking, lighthearted, and merry. Our next word is modest. Modest is an adjective and it means not thinking too highly of oneself not boastful. Or proper in speech, dress, or behavior. Not extreme or large. Let's look at the example. It says, we were surprised at how modest the famous singer was. So when you think about someone like a famous singer or a famous actor, you might think that they think very highly of themselves. They think that they are the best, that they are amazing, and that's not a very good quality to have. But in this sentence, they're saying that the singer was actually modest. They didn't think that they are the best or that they're amazing so you cannot talk to them. They were modest. They were very kind and nice and normal. So you can use this word modest to describe somebody like that. We can also use it to describe someone who's not boastful. So for example, this girl here, she won a contest. Let's say that she won a spelling bee. And sometimes when someone wins something, they might be boastful. They might say, yeah, I'm the winner, I'm the best, I'm number one. Things like that are boastful. They're saying that they are the best. But she was very modest. Even though she was the winner and she worked hard, she didn't boast. And we can also use modest to describe something that's not very large or not very extreme. For example, I can say they lived in a modest house. It means the house is not too large. It's just a normal, regular sized house. And the last way we can use this word is when we're talking about how someone speaks or how they dress or how they act. When someone speaks or acts or dresses in a very normal way, we can say they are being modest. Some synonyms are reserved, humble, simple, and moderate. Antonyms are bold, conceited, proud, self-assured, vain, excessive, and grand. Our next word is opponent. Opponent is a noun and it is someone who is set against another, as in a contest, game, argument, or fight. So you can think about opponent as the person that you are going against. You're either fighting against them or playing a game against them or doing something in a contest against them. So for example, we can say in the sport of fencing, this sport here is fencing where the two players have something that looks like a sword. Each opponent challenges the other with a special kind of sword. So here I can say these two people are opponents. We can also use it when we have something like a debate. These two people are both giving a speech. So we can say they are opponents in the debate. Here too is another example of a sport. Maybe this person is from team 1 and this person is from team 2. They're on different teams. So I can say they are opponents. Some synonyms are foe, rival, enemy, competitor, and challenger. Antonyms are ally, partner, helper, friend, and teammate. So you can think as opponent as the opposite of your teammate, someone who is going against you. Our next word is valid. Valid is an adjective and it means supported by facts or evidence, true. So something valid is true and you can also prove that it is true. The example says, your report presents many valid arguments. So in this sentence, there is someone, maybe a student, who did a report. And in the report, there were many arguments are your ideas or the things that you want to say. There were many of them that were valid. They were true in this report. Here we can see this girl is sick. So I can say it's a valid excuse that you didn't come to school today because you were sick. So we often say valid excuse. It means you couldn't be somewhere or you couldn't do something for some reason. And if it's a good reason, then we can say it's a valid excuse. If something is valid, it is true. You can prove that it's true. Here's another example. This is a coupon. So when you go to a store to buy something and you have a coupon, maybe you can save some money. You can get $1 off of this food. So this coupon usually has a date on it and you have to use it before this date. So we can say this coupon is still valid. That means it's still okay. You can still use it. Or this coupon is not valid because the date already passed. Some synonyms are convincing, persuasive, and sound. This sound is not talking about the thing you hear. It just means something that is true or strong. Antonyms are false, invalid, and unconvincing. Our last word is yearn. Yearn is a verb and it means to long for. When you yearn for something, you really want that thing. For example, I yearn for our vacation. In this sentence, there is someone who's going on vacation and maybe they can't wait anymore. They really want to go. So we can say he yearns to go on vacation. He really wants to do it. Here's another example. You can see this man here. Maybe he's exercising right now and he yearns to have strong muscles. He really wants to become healthier and have bigger muscles. So he yearns for that. We can also yearn for something like a house. Maybe this woman really wants to buy a bigger house. So I can say she yearns to own a big home. And imagine it's a very rainy day, but you really want to go play outside. I can say the girl yearns to go play outside, but it's too rainy. Some synonyms for yearn are desire, wish, want, crave, need, pine, hunger, and thirst. There are no antonyms for this word. Is there anything that you yearn for? And that's all for this video. We went over the Vocabulary Workshop Level Green Unit 13 words. Thank you so much for listening and I'll see you next time. Bye!